What's up, everybody? It's the Power Rankings Show, aka the Power Rankings Podcast. I am your host, Elliot Harrison, and I'm joined as always by the official who ruined Marcus Mosher's life back in January of 2015. Was it?
Yeah.
How are you, sir? Which ref are you again?
Giansterator, of course. So I'm a blind ref right now, as you can tell.
I thought you were Walt Coleman.
No, you were thinking Walt Anderson, right?
Walt Anderson.
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't there a Walt Coleman too? But that may have been an older.
Yeah,
that may be a different. Who was the ref that said that they were giving Jim Kelly the business down there?
It might have been Walt Coleman, right?
No, I want to say not Pat Haggerty. That's not right, is it? Have you ever seen that call?
Yeah.
It's the greatest ref call of all time. I remember a lot of them though. Jim Tunney and of course there's Ed Hockey Lee.
Was it Ben something? What was his name? Ben
Drive.
Ben Drive. There you go.
And then there was Eric Pointer was a referee, and he was a brother of the Pointer sisters. Yeah. So Marcus, if you're listening right now, is going to a Halloween costume, and if you're listening on whatever Spotify or iTunes, whatever, and he's dressed as the referee that ruined the Des Bryant catch. His daughter, who is a toddler, is going to be the football, and your wife is, what is your wife going to be? Des Bryant?
She's Des Bryant. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right.
I hope he doesn't drop her at the party. That would be really upsetting.
So if you're listening, you don't get to see Marcus's sweet Halloween costume right now, but we've got some games to pick.
Wait, well, hold on. You didn't get to explain your Halloween costume you have on right now.
Well, I'm
or is it a Halloween costume? Or is this just what you wear on a day-to-day basis?
I'm like the lead singer of a band that saw Guns N' Roses come out in '87, and they thought they'd mimic the look. So I've got my
Gotcha.
GNR Lies album T-shirt on. Okay, that's Guns N' Roses' second album for those of you who don't know. And of course, you got to have your placard with Barbie and a picture of yourself shirtless, because that's how every rock star does it. And then, I mean, a do-rag, I think, was a nice touch. My mom used to work with this in the garden.
It's all sweaty and stuff, too.
But with my rocker shades, I don't know that. And I've got my red leather jackets, members only. It's vintage. Yep. But with these shades, I don't know that I'm going to be able to read my notes for any of these games. So you may have to carry me.
It wouldn't be any different than a normal show. So I'm ready to go.
You know what? I've been picking games all right this year.
Yeah, you should brag about that a little bit. Can you tell people what your record is so far?
It's 75-31.
It's not bad.
I failed to pick the Dolphins Colts game when we did the podcast because Marcus always leads us into the games and he forgets sometimes about the really cruddy ones.
Well, I mean,
I caught him last week. I caught you last week with Falcons Dolphins. Remember?
Yes.
So let's get into it. Let's talk some. We got some big games. We got some really awful ones too.
Yeah. Let's start with the Thursday night game. It is the Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites in this game. Do need to update the people a little bit. No Devontae Adams, no Marquez Valdes-Scantling, no Alan Lazard. So the top three receivers all out for Green Bay in this one.
You know, this is a game where they need Aaron Jones, a.k.a. Adam Jones, like I called him on the phone with you the other night. Pac-Man. They need Pac-Man in the backfield. I mean, they haven't been running him. We've talked about this. They came into the season with Dillon and Jones, and I really thought they could run the football more. This is a team that you can run on. I know the Texans weren't able to run on the Cardinals, but that was game situation, and the Texans haven't been able to run the ball on anybody. The Texans couldn't run the ball on the University of North Texas right now. No. So that's how the Packers are going to win this game. The problem is they're not going to win the game. And they're telling my headset's telling me to recharge it. And you know what? I did.
It's all right. It's okay. So I'll make a pick instead. I think it's going to be the Packers to cover the 6.5-point spread. I think I would still
really?
I think I'd still take the Cardinals to win. It just feels like an Aaron Rodgers, like a vintage Aaron Rodgers game where Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are just oozing and ozzing all over. I don't know if that's a real phrase or not. Over Aaron Rodgers without his receivers, it'll be Randall Cobb for like 7 for 90 and a touchdown. It'll be Amari Rodgers catching a couple passes. I think this is a vintage Aaron Rodgers game.
I'm glad you feel that way. I got the Cards 28-20.
Okay.
So
all right.
What's the line? 6.5?
6.5. So you got the Cardinals to win and cover. Interesting.
Yeah, Cards win and cover. But straight up, Cardinals. Let's go. What's next?
All right, next one. A fantastic game. The Miami Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are 14-point favorites in this game. We already had this game once earlier in the season. What do you think about this one, Elliot?
I think it's awful. I think it's awful. We have to talk about it. I have the Bills 47-17 in this game. So that's
Is that your actual prediction?
But yes, my actual prediction. But I want to, we talked about Josh Allen a little bit. I want to say he has gotten it going the last 4 games. He's got 118.4 passer rating, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions during that time. But the Dolphins are the worst defense in the NFL, man. They're 31st in points allowed. They're last in yards. And Washington, by the way, is a team that's allowed the most points, but they looked a little bit better last week. The Dolphins defense did not look better, Marcus. I think this is a rout.
Yeah, I agree. I think Buffalo wins by 3 touchdowns in this one. They're just a better team. I think they're coming off a bye week, which I think they're annoyed that they lost that game against the Titans. I think this is a rout. Our next one is the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. Kind of a sneaky fun game. I'm just putting that out there.
Real sneaky, like so sneaky you can't find the fun anywhere.
That's right.
That's sneaky.
The Falcons are 3-point favorites, and I absolutely love Atlanta in this spot.
I do too. Tell me why you love them. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, if you kind of throw out that first game from Matt Ryan, he's played really well over the last couple of weeks, and it seems like they found something just throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts all the time. Back-to-back games of 100 yards. Calvin Ridley is back. The offensive line is playing better. And I think whenever you bench your franchise quarterback like the Panthers did last week, it kind of rattles the system a little bit. Would not be shocked if they come out really flat in this game.
I really can't read my notes with these sunglasses on, but I refuse to break character. I got the Falcons 34-30 in this game. And, against good quarterbacks that the Panthers have played, okay? Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, and I'm going to include Daniel Jones in this.
Sure, why not?
They've gotten beaten bad.
As I say, is their defense good? Because early on in the season, we were talking about how good Carolina's defense is, but now I'm not sure. I think they're very.
No, I'm not sure at all. Dak Prescott had a 130 passer rating. Kirk Cousins had 100 and my notes say 112, I think, reading through these sunglasses. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Jones had about 100. And then Kyle Pitts, we talked about. I think Atlanta's offense is a lot more scary now. Hey, I'd like to see Cordero Patterson even get more carries.
Yes, let's do it. All right, our next game.
What's next?
Philadelphia Eagles against the Detroit Lions.
This is hard.
Lions are 3.5-point underdogs at home in this one, and I really want to take them, but I can't.
I'm going to take the Lions to cover, okay, and Philadelphia to win by a point. I almost was going to pick Detroit to win this game outright. I noticed something, though, about Jalen Hurts. So people have been talking about his garbage time production, so I wanted to look that up for myself. In the second half of games, Jalen Hurts, man, his rushing is insane. And once again, I refuse to break character, even if I have to squint to see this. I'm going to do it, dude. I'm going to do it. Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Sure. In the second half, he's got 251 yards rushing this year, 6 yards per carry, and 5 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
In the first half, he's got 110 yards, no touchdowns, and 4 yards per carry. So in the second half, he's just basically making one read, running out of the pocket, and trying to get them back in the game. And you know what? The defense in some of these games is more than willing to allow him to do that, like the Raiders, because guess what? He runs the ball, he gets tackled in bounds, clock runs, and there we go, game over. I still like the Eagles by a point. How about 20-19? How do you feel about that?
I like the Eagles to cover. If you're a big fantasy football player, you know that Jalen Hurts is a cheat code, but 44% of his fantasy football production has come in the fourth quarter of games. That's just shocking. He basically does nothing the first 3 quarters and then turns it on. I think they're going to have more success in this game. I think they win by a touchdown.
Okay. We'll see.
All right. Next one. And this is a really good game. And this one
Lions
I'm really
cover.
looking for. Yeah. Okay. Titans and Colts. The Colts at home are 1.5-point favorites. Now, the last time these two teams met, Carson Wentz was dealing with 2 badly.
Totally different, dude.
Right. And that was a 9-point game. This game at home. Who do you like in this one?
Sorry, totally different, bro. I'm going to go with the Titans all the way here. I mean, excuse me, the Colts all the way to cover. Of course, it's only 1.5. So what am I? That's not
basically
really putting.
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there, but just for the sake of acknowledging the spread, Colts cover. Colts win this game. The Titans, Derrick Henry did not have a huge game last week. I've got the Colts by 3 in this one. I don't know how you feel about this, but Carson Wentz, dude. Carson Wentz has been playing so much better football than I think people realize. What did you think of his play against the 49ers?
He had a couple passes that could have easily been intercepted, and he had the fumble/interception at the goal line that eventually got ruled as a fumble. But I think he's been good, and I think he made the plays that the Colts needed him to win that game. I mean, it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but how many throws down the field did he throw that caused defensive pass interference that put him at like the 2-yard line to eventually score touchdowns, right?
Yeah, not only that, the last 4 games, he's got 100 passer rating or better. He's 11 touchdowns and 1 interception. I mean, what more do you want from the guy? Also, really well. Jonathan Taylor, 10 carries for 64 yards in that game. Run the football a little bit more against the Titans. That's what I say.
He is dealing with a little bit of a rib injury. Did not play in the fourth quarter, so just kind of keep an eye on that before you bet this game.
Tough for fantasy, too.
It is. Nyheim Hines, really good backup running back, though.
He is.
All right, next one. The Rams and Texans. The Texans are 14.5-point home underdogs in this game.
Yeah, I've got the Rams 37-17, so I have the Rams to cover that. I don't think the Texans are already in a fire sale, aren't they? I mean, they if you missed the news this week, was that yesterday? I think Mark Ingram going back to his former team. Mark Ingram wasn't having a good year. Philip Lindsay was having a worse year. David Johnson isn't having a good year. No. I don't really know how they're going to beat the Rams. Now, I will say that Tyrod Taylor, the news was that if he came back, he was going to start. Do you know how good Tyrod Taylor has played this year in the 6 quarters that he's played?
Yeah, I mean, he was really good against the Jags in week 1. And then he was beating the Browns in week 2 before he got hurt. He was outstanding.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 122.9 passer rating for Tyrod this year. Granted, that's in a game and a half, but it's a lot better than what we've seen from Davis Mills or that offense altogether.
Brandon Cooks' revenge game? I mean, a little bit. I mean, the thing is, whoever the Brandon Cooks plays is basically a revenge game. He's been on like 8 already. So
I don't know. He's got like really a USFL revenge game at this point. Yeah.
Somebody save Brandon Cooks, please. Somebody trade for him at the deadline. Next one, the Cincinnati Bengals against the New York Jets. The Jets are 10.5-point home underdogs in this one with Mike White starting at quarterback. Can you take Mike White in this game?
You can. I've got the Bengals 31-14 in this game, Marcus. So I've got the Bengals to cover. I know I'm picking all the good teams to actually cover. I know Robert Saleh said that he has confidence in Mike White. Who's the Jets running back at this point? I feel like they've tried everybody.
It's Ty Johnson. It really is.
Exactly. That's the point. Interesting. CJ Uzomah has caught 17 of 19 targets this year at tight end. We've talked a lot about the receivers. I think the Bengals are going to be able to move the ball. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to stop them. And I don't think the Jets are going to be able to chew up clock to lessen the amount of possessions that the Bengals offense gets.
So I agree. The Bengals should win this game, but this is a complete stay away for me if I'm a bettor because it's a home game for the Jets. It's two touchdowns. Really, the Bengals have to beat them by. I think there's a chance for this to be a game where the Bengals come out a little flat after beating the Ravens last week. Elliot, I can just picture this now. We're going to be in the third quarter. This is going to be like a 14-10 type of game. And if you bet on the Bengals, you're going to be sweating this one out the entire time.
I think that is a really fair point. I think the Jets will play it close to the vest, so I wouldn't even start the Bengals fantasy defense, I don't think, in this one. I don't know that.
Is this one that you pick for your eliminator, though, or your survivor pool? Would you take the Bengals here on the road?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Right. But you're talking about covering it. You're talking about covering a giant spread, and I tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
You know me, though. I always give stay away advice. I'm always like, hey, pick the best 2 or 3, either lines or over-unders. Don't mess with games like this. I'm with you.
I agree. All right. Our next one is the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are 3.5-point favorites, and we're not even sure who the quarterback is going to be for the Browns yet. It looks like it might be Baker Mayfield after practicing 2 straight days. Who do you got in this one?
I think that's a mistake. I think they should play Case Keenum. That's my thought there. I like the Browns straight up in this game. This is another line that I would avoid. The over-under, though, I'm really curious on. I feel like it should be really low. So I'm curious if Vegas put this too high, this would be one that I would bet on. I'm going to guess that Vegas put the line at 42.
It is 42 exactly. It's 42 exactly. Good call. Are you ready for this one, Elliot? This is my lock of the week. Are you ready? It's
okay.
the Steelers plus
no.
3.5. Listen, and I'm going to explain to you why.
Okay, sure. Wrong. Sorry.
The Browns are a team that really rely on running the ball. That's one thing Pittsburgh can really do well if they're committed to it. Like if they just put 8 guys in the box, teams can't run the ball well. Jarvis Landry's dealing with a knee injury. Odell Beckham's dealing with a shoulder injury, and Roethlisberger's coming off a bye. I think this is the best version of the Steelers we're going to see all season long. They're one of the healthiest teams in the league. I think they covered the spread pretty easily, actually.
She says you're wrong. You're wrong.
Do I need to blow the whistle on your analyst here?
You're totally wrong. Let's go. Next game.
All right, next one. The 49ers against the Chicago Bears. The Bears are 4-point home underdogs in this one.
I think they should be. You see any reason they shouldn't be?
I mean, I don't really trust the quarterback on the other side either. Like
I don't either.
Jimmy Garoppolo should be a 4-point road favorite.
I think the 49ers should be favorites. Yes. Now, as far as that spread, I've got the 49ers winning 23-20. So my inclination would be for the Bears to cover or another stay away game here, but I like the 49ers to win this game straight up. By the way, the Bears last week didn't get to 200 net yards passing again. And you might say, well, yeah, I mean, Justin Fields has struggled. Hey, man, they were down 35-3 in the third quarter, which means what? That team is going to let you throw the ball and complete passes, right? And get tackled in bounds. And they still couldn't generate any passing game. Khalil Herbert, though, he looks good, Marcus. He looks good.
He is. It's another guy that shows you why running backs don't matter. I'm taking the 49ers here to cover the spread. Chicago doesn't have Khalil Mack in this one. Robert Quinn, I believe, is still on the COVID list.
Wait a minute. So you just gave me that whole rigmarole about, listen, I don't trust either quarterback. I don't agree with the spread. And then you're like, hey, man, it's my lock. Yeah, 49ers win. No big deal.
I'm just saying I think the 49ers win and cover the spread. That's all.
All right.
But you got to be a real degenerate to bet on this game. So throw it in the tees. All right, next one is the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Seattle Seahawks.
Tough game. This is a tough game.
This is a really tough game. The Seahawks are 3.5-point home favorites.
Yeah, I typed up some great stats for this game. I'm sick of trying to read through these sunglasses. A couple of things here, though. New Orleans last week got after Seattle with the pass rush. I'm not saying the pass rush won the game, but at the end of the game, it certainly made a huge difference. I don't know that the Jags can do that. The Jags have generated no pass rush this year, Marcus. And here's the other thing. The Saints went into that game hardly having generated any sacks at all. We talked about Cam Hayward not having any sacks. But the Saints have some elite personnel. What's that?
Cam Jordan, not Cam Hayward. Cam Jordan.
See, I did it again.
That's right. I got you. I caught you. You're good.
So how many is that for me this year? So we had Jacoby Eason, right?
We have Adam Jones.
But that was just on the phone with you.
Oh.
No, but I had another one. No, PJ. I went PJ Walker.
That's right. That's a real player.
I know. Well, now I know it. I think on our podcast I said like PJ Hunter or something. I don't remember what our PJ Watson or something. So I've got 3 on the year. What's your over under for me missaying a guy's last name for the entire season?
Oh my gosh, probably like 12. I'm
going to be under on that.
No, we got a long ways to go still.
Yes. So Cam Jordan, son of Steve Jordan, former Vikings Pro Bowl tight end, who I love. There is a Cam Hayward. He plays for the Steelers. The Saints have some elite personnel on defense that the Jags just do not have. I don't trust that they're going to be able to get after Seattle, but I am telling you right now, dude, James Robinson can run on these guys, man. Yeah. He can run on these guys. If you're in fantasy, I mean, you should be starting him anyway. But if you have like an elite backfield and you want to play a wide receiver in the flex, you better play James Robinson in this game. Yeah, I say 125 and a touch, Marcus.
Okay. James Robinson is a really good player. He really is.
He shouldn't be on your bench, period.
No, I don't understand why Jacksonville spent a first-round pick on the running back when they already had James Robinson. And
he got hurt.
Yeah. I really want to pick Jacksonville in this game because I believe in Trevor Lawrence and I believe in his ascension. But I'm taking Seattle here. They need this game more. They're pretty good when they're at home at finding ways to at least keep the game close going into the fourth quarter. I think they bounce back and get a win.
I do too.
Next one. This is easily my favorite game of the week. It's the Patriots against the Chargers in Los Angeles. The Chargers are 5-point home favorites in this one.
And I think they should be. I know that the Patriots won huge there last year. I know you're going to mention that.
45 to nothing. 45 to nothing, Elliot.
I'm going to save your breath on that little deal. I went back and looked at that game, and just all sorts of things went wrong for the Bolts in that game. All sorts of things. They had I think they had a block kick that went for a touchdown. They had a punt returned for a touchdown on them. On their one of their early drives, they drove all the way down the field and missed a field goal. So their special teams accounted for basically 14 points for the Patriots and -3 for themselves. That's a 17-point swing right there. Obviously, you had a young Justin Herbert. He was already playing behind the 8 ball against a coach who's done really great against rookie quarterbacks. I don't think any of that happens. I don't think you're going to have a punt return touchdown. I don't think you're going to have a blocked field goal for a touchdown. Yeah, the Chargers might miss a kick. Okay, but Justin Herbert's no longer a rookie either. I like the Bolts in this game.
I like the Chargers to win as well. However, I'm staying away from that line. I just think this is going to be a close game because the Chargers cannot stop anybody in the run game right now. They've allowed the most rushing yards per game this season. And if there's one thing New England can do really well, it's run the ball. Like Damian Harris is running the ball extremely well right now. I think Mac Jones is going to be efficient. I think they're going to play keep away. I think this is a 28-24 game.
Oh my gosh. I have 28-25 Chargers. So basically we're picking the Chargers to win, the Patriots to cover.
This is going to tell us a lot about both of these teams. If the Patriots win, they're right back into the playoff hunt. If the Chargers win, we can basically write off the Patriots for making the playoffs. And then the Chargers are right back into the, hey, are they the best team in the AFC discussion?
I bet you the over-under on this game is 52.
A little lower, 49.
Then good. There's another good one right there. Take the over. Forget the spread. Take the over on this game and the Chargers straight up in your family pool.
All right. Next game. Washington football team against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 3-point home favorites. They have lost 5 of the last 6 home games, which is a little surprising. But who do you like in this one?
I'm taking Washington in an upset. I like Washington to win this game outright. I think the defensive line is going to turn it around. The Broncos are way banged up. I don't know if they're going to be able to get after Taylor Heineke in this game or not. I will say Antonio Gibson's been a little bit of a disappointment, not as big a disappointment as that defense. Mm-hmm. If they can combine those two things, Marcus, I think they'll make Heineke's job a heck of a lot easier.
I like Washington to win as well, but I will say Jerry Jeudy coming back from his ankle injury. That's the guy that Teddy Bridgewater really connected with in the preseason and early on in the year. They just have some kind of chemistry together. I think that's going to help the offense, but not enough. I'm taking Washington to win and cover. All right, our next one, an NFC South battle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 5.5-point home underdogs in this one.
Yeah, I like Tampa by 7. I think this is going to be a tough game, and I actually think there's going to be points put up in this game. I think this is going to be like a 38-31 game. Now, I know the Saints have struggled to put points up, except when they get takeaways. When they get takeaways, all 3 of their big scoring games the Saints have had this year have been when they got takeaways, like against the Patriots, against the Packers in week 1. However, when they don't get takeaways, they're not very good at moving the football. That's why I think they're 17th in points scored and like 29th in yards. So that said, I think Jameis Winston's going to be supremely motivated to win in this game. It's in New Orleans. Again, 38-31. I like Tampa Bay to cover, but I think this is going to be one of the best games of the weekend.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. Last year, the 2 regular season games, the Saints made Tom Brady look awful. I mean, we saw the first game of the year, he was bad. The second game they played, the one in Tampa Bay, was the worst game I think I've ever seen Tom Brady play.
And don't you think he knows that?
Oh, I think he does for sure.
Yeah.
I will mention one interesting matchup in this game. There's no Antonio Brown, so it's Mike Evans against Marshawn Lattimore. And last year, in the 2 games they played against each other, Evans really didn't do anything at all. Like Marshawn Lattimore just kind of has Mike Evans's number. So look for Chris Godwin to have a big game. You mentioned that there's going to be a lot of points scored in this one. Would you like to guess the over-under here?
I don't think the over-under is going to be anywhere near a high one. Now, this is a tough one. I'm curious how Vegas sees it because, again, if they're seeing it properly, I think they would recognize that the Saints have to get takeaways and the Bucs haven't exactly been given the ball away.
Right.
So I'm going to guess it's actually in the upper 40s. I'm going to say 48.
It's 50 even.
Okay, I was a little off, a little off.
That seems like a fair line, though, right?
Yeah, I would not bet the over-under on this game. I like Tampa Bay to win it straight up, but this is actually a game I would not bet on.
I agree. I would not. I would stay away. All right, our Sunday night football game is my Dallas Cowboys. Notice I say my, not yours. The Cowboys are 1-point road favorites in this game against the Vikings. Who do you like in this one?
I like the Cowboys, but I'm really nervous about this game. I feel like this is I don't want to call it a trap game, because typically a trap game was when you played a road game against a team that was far inferior. I don't think the Vikings are far inferior. I think Adam Thielen's going to take Trayvon Diggs to school in the red zone, providing they're matched up. I don't think he's faced any receivers with moves like that guy, quite frankly. Then again, to be fair, they faced some pretty good receivers, but Thielen is so crafty. And Diggs has been playing on such a high. I have to admit, Diggs has played well against some good players. But I like Dallas to run the ball here. This is an Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard game to me, Marcus, more than it is Dak Prescott throwing for 430. I do worry about the Cowboys, though, being able to hold Kirk Cousins, say, under 340 himself.
Yeah, I think this is a stay away game, just because we're not quite sure how healthy Dak Prescott is. We're not sure what these teams are going to look like coming off of a bye. Minnesota typically does play pretty well, at home, but not necessarily in night games. So it's just a weird game. I think you just sit back and enjoy it. Now, I will say the over-under here is 55.5. That is a huge, huge line. Which way would you be betting on this one?
I'd be inclined, if you want to bet the over-under on this game, I'd be inclined to take the over. I've got Dallas winning 33-30 in this game. Yeah. I don't love it. I'm kind of with Marcus on stay away here, and I know I'm being such a curmudgeon. But doesn't
this game feel like the one that
I'm a Guns N' Roses poser? I had to keep it dark, bro.
Don't you think we could see like 375 rushing yards between the two teams in this one?
That sounds very 1942 football.
But
I love it.
I think it's
which the Bears have been playing that style of football all year. So
I'm just saying this is going to be a high scoring game, which both teams are just so efficient on offense, right?
I agree. But
one big injury really quickly. Michael Pierce, the best defensive tackle for the Vikings, is out in this game. They've really struggled to stop the run without him.
I know. That's why I was saying I think this is a Tony Pollard. Didn't Pollard have a really great game last time they played up in Minnesota?
Well, so did Ezekiel Elliott. They both had really good, nice games last year.
Pollard took that one around the edge for a touchdown late. Yeah.
Last year. All right. Our final game is the Monday Night Football game. It's the New York Giants against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are at home, and they are 10-point favorites in this one. And I could not like the Giants anymore in this one.
You want to hear a fun fact?
Sure.
I have a random Giants-Chiefs game from 1984 on DVD.
It's fantastic. You're such a nerd.
Yeah, I just wanted you to know I had that. If you want to watch it sometime, we can Zoom.
We can get some popcorn and
set it up. I think it's Bill Kinney versus Phil Simms, maybe. I don't know. Maybe
we could host a watch party. It would just be me and you. We could send it out on social media. Nobody would show up.
Yeah, we could do a stream of consciousness on Twitter watching the game. See, that's a great idea. Creative ideas, alas.
Brought to you by Brinks TV. There you go. How's that for a show?
Can I do a little X&O talk before you get into your gambling nonsense?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I like the Chiefs straight up in this game. What's the line on it?
10.
Back to your gambling nonsense for a brief moment.
10. That's a lot.
What is it?
It's 10. It's a lot of points.
10. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm having a hard time hearing Marcus, I couldn't use my normal kind of ear selection piece, and my headphones decided to run out of battery. So I'm using this really bad earpiece to a phone that I had from like 2008. So Marcus sounds tinny. You sound like, who's saying, was it 98 Degrees? You sound like one of the dudes in 98 Degrees kind of in my earpiece.
It's too old for me. Sorry.
Hey, a little XO talk though here, home slice. So everyone's been talking about defenses playing too high and I realize it's totally ridiculous for me in this outfit to be talking X's and O's. But here's the thing.
Go ahead.
You're running too high to limit the big plays to Tyreek Hill down the field, right? Okay. Do you know where generally when you play too high, what part of the field is exposed? It's the middle. It's that soft underbelly right there. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
That's usually where a great tight end can destroy a team. Now, it hasn't really worked lately because Travis Kelce's gone 4 games without 100 yards. And I was curious. I was like, when's the last time he went 4 games without 100 yards? He got real close one game, in fairness, against Washington. So it's the beginning of last year. The first 4 games, he didn't have 100 yards. And then the dude went off. The next 11 games, he had over 1,100 yards from the tight end position. He looked very frustrated last week on the sideline against the Titans. I think he is going to be supremely motivated. And then the other thing is, if they're going to dedicate the personnel on the back end to stop that in the middle, then you should be able to run on them, right? If you're playing too deep and you're dedicating personnel to stop those plays in the deep middle, you should be able to run all day. Can Kansas City run on the Giants?
I'm going to say no, because it's the one thing the Giants do really well is stop the run with just 6 guys, right? They've got a couple of big guys up front with Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams who can really, kind of maintain gap control and all that kind of stuff. Where I think the Chiefs need to be better is in the screen game. We've kind of grown up with Andy Reid just being so good in the screen game and just little dump off passes and kind of use the little check down passing attack to supplement your rushing attack. We haven't seen that from Kansas City. And I don't know if it's because Patrick Mahomes is getting too antsy and he wants to make big plays and he's nervous about his defense or what. But I'd love to see the running backs combine for like 10 targets in this game because I think that would help.
I would too, but I'll go a step further and I'll bring it back to my 1984 random game. In that era, the best screen team in the league were the Cowboys under Tom Landry. And a lot of times they would do a fake screen to one side and then come back to the middle and throw a tight end screen.
And Chiefs can do that.
Yeah. Why not some tight end screens to Travis Kelce in this game? He's great running with the football. I think that will work against this team. How do you feel about the big spread?
It's too many points. The Chiefs are 3-14-1 in their last 18 games against the spread. They've been awful, absolutely awful. I think this is a game where the Giants hang around. I think they're going to run the ball. I think it's going to be a Jason Garrett special. They're going to try to keep this game as close as possible. They're going to run as much clock as they need to. And we're going to get into the fourth quarter of this game, Elliot. It's going to be one score, and we'll see how it goes from there. It's just too many points for me to take Kansas City.
I'm going to differ on this one. I think Kansas City is going to cover. It's either going to be 10 points a push or Kansas City is going to cover here. That's my inkling on this game. I would stay away from the over-under on this, though, because I have no idea on this one.
I'll tell you, it's still a pretty big over-under for both of these teams right now. It's I'm pulling it up right here. It's 52.5.
That's a little high, man.
It is a little high.
That's a little high. I get it on some of these games. I understood the Dallas, Minnesota, but yeah. So what is your
Giants are going to run the ball. Giants are going to run the ball like crazy in this one to shorten the game as much as possible.
All right, so let's go back over who we all picked straight up, and then what is your absolute lock? Bet your house on it.
All right, yeah. So we both have the Cardinals to beat the Packers, right, this week?
Yep.
Okay, and I actually stay away with that one because I think this is a Rodgers game. I think the Bills to beat the Dolphins is the most locked game of the week, especially with the Bills coming off the bye. So that's the game that you want to use for your survivor pool.
That's my bet $10,000 on. Last week it was Green Bay to cover. This week it's Buffalo. Keep going.
Next one, the Falcons against the Panthers. We both like the Falcons to win this game, correct?
Yep.
Eagles and Lions. I like the Eagles to win. You do as well?
I do. I hate it by 1 point. I like the Lions to cover, though.
We both like the Colts to win and cover over the Titans, even though that's going to be a really fun game this week.
Yeah.
If you haven't used the Rams yet in your survivor pool, this week is a good one against the Texans, right? That's another great one. Next one, Bengals and Jets. I'm a little bit nervous about this game in terms of the betting line. You don't seem like you are, but we both like the Bengals to win outright. Steelers, Browns. I like the Steelers to cover and win. You like the Browns to cover and win as well. All right.
No, I like the Browns to win. I would stay away from this like crazy.
49ers, Bears. I like the 49ers to cover and win. What about you?
I like the 49ers to win. I don't like this. I would actually bet the Bears here if I had to, but this is another stay away from me. But remember, I'm curmudgeon. I say stay away from almost all of them.
Yeah. Seahawks, Jags. I like the Seahawks to win and cover, and I think you do as well.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a tough game, though, man. Real tough game.
Patriots, Chargers. We both like the Chargers to win but the Patriots to cover.
Correct.
That's
Doing
going to be a
good.
fun game. Next one, Washington and Denver. We both like Washington to win outright in this one.
That's right.
Again, Washington 3-point road underdogs in this one. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. We both like Tampa Bay to win in cover.
That's correct.
Dallas, Minnesota. I'm just completely staying away. I probably would take Minnesota if I had to pick. You like Dallas to win?
Yes, correct. 33-30.
33-30. And our final game, Giants, Chiefs. I like the Giants to cover, the Chiefs to win. You like the Chiefs to push or cover. Let's just
That's correct.
Right?
You got it.
There you go. That's
Pretty
our set
good.
of games.
I think we should roll here. I think we've already held on to these people for too long.
I'm just waiting for you to say rock and roll. Ready?
Hey man, listen. It's not. Here's something I genuinely feel bad about. The music you grew up with, Marcus, is a travesty. It's an absolute travesty.
We had NSYNC. That's a bad take. Don't say anything.
Just tell me you've heard a Fleetwood Mac album.
I think I've seen their record somewhere.
Courtney, I hear the music and I'm not shutting up yet. I'm not done. I'm not done.
We
with
need to
my
blow the
rant
whistle
here.
on them. Let's blow the whistle on them.
Listen, what happened to writing music on a legal pad, getting your guitar, laying some tracks down, bro?
We'll see you guys on Friday. Peace out. Enjoy the game.
Hey, every rose has its thorn was written that way. All right, we'll see y'all Thursday. Tomorrow? Yeah, Friday. Bye.